Hey, how's it going, Wynne?
Hey, good man. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. So, hi everyone. This is Nilesh, and I have with me Wynne. So, welcome to our second episode of Brews and LTDs. Are you already drinking? Cheers to that. I haven't opened
Cheers.
yet. Yeah. What are you drinking, Wynne?
I brew my own beer, so this is called it's a double IPA. Yeah, double IPA.
Oh, must be like a high hoppy beer, kind of.
It's very hoppy. Uses American hops. Very citrusy.
Oh, very cool.
Mm.
Perfect. But it's winter there, right?
It's winter. Yep.
Yeah.
We're at beach batch at the moment, not ours, but that's a friend's place. It's really beautiful here. As you
Oh,
can see
very
behind
nice.
me. Yeah.
And what's the city called? What's the place?
Wellington. Well, this
Oh,
place
you're in
that I'm at,
Wellington. Okay.
I live in Wellington, but this
Yeah.
beach is called Waitarere. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Um, all right. Okay. One second. I had some previous comment on our live. I was like, okay. So I think we have a few people join. Hey, how's it going? Cheers, Vianney. Cheers. Hopefully you have a beer, and if you would like to come on stage, let us know. You're most welcome. We can invite any guest for sure. So what I'm drinking is called a Rouge River. It's an New England style IPA, and it's called Nothing Really Matters.
I found out what what was that Italian word that you said last time? Saccio or something like that.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's a place in Italy. There's a place in Italy where they brew beer, and that's the locality apparently.
Oh, very cool. Okay. So the brewmaster must be from that place or something because it's a local brewery that was brewed in, and it's like Toronto has like a I mean Ontario has a great craft scene of beers.
Okay,
Yeah, it's
yeah.
perfect weather too. Everything seems to have opened up, and patios are open, indoor dining, and everything is really open. So finally back on track. Hopefully it stays that way. And yeah, cheers to that.
Yeah, great.
Okay, so I think there is a lot of things happening in the community. We're busier than ever. Lots, hundreds and hundreds of people joining in. So thank you
I saw
guys.
we just blew past 10,000 fans. What do you call it when somebody's a group member? 10,000 members. So what are we sitting at now? I was surprised because like last week I checked, it was like 9,400. This week I think we're sitting at about 10,400. Like, did we just grow like 1,000 members in 1 week?
Yes, we
That's
did.
crazy.
Yeah. I mean, as we get big, and this is Facebook, so we have to also be sure that we had to remove some profiles as well, which kind of have been just there, no information at all, right? Just to keep the community secure. Having
Hmm.
said that, because of the phrase episode as well, we had to remove some folks and things of that nature.
So
But
I tried to just on phrase. I tried to invite Tommy Rowe on a. I don't know how you say his name, Rigo or Rowe.
yeah,
I did invite him to come on
yeah.
our podcast, but I never heard back. Did you try contacting him?
No, no, no. I just want to settle this issue first, and they've already made an offer, so
Yeah.
to the users. So I think it's a great offer. With,
What was the
of
offer?
course, I think you have to pay like $17.50 for that additional add-on for 6 months, and you
Yeah.
get to keep the accounts. Right now, I'm not exactly sure how many accounts were generated, but hopefully that brings in some revenue for phrase. Having said that, whatever was done by some of these people, it's not right. I mean, we don't support that kind of behavior at all. So I mean, those folks have been removed, right? For sure. But having said that,
So
I mean, we can.
what's great about Facebook is that you can use an account, and theoretically it's attached to a real person, but we know that hey, we've got over 10,000 people. We're shooting for 20,000 people, and hopefully we're going to get to 100,000 people. But within that, there's going to be some bad eggs. One of the conversations that you and I had months
Yes,
ago, and I think the issue keeps coming up, is how can you trust the people that you're dealing with?
yes,
And one suggestion that I had for you was that we use some kind of authentication platform, and then we have a way of measuring trust, whether that's connection with other people that you trust that you've dealt with. And I've kind of been thinking about this over the last couple of days after the whole phrase incident.
yes,
If you could give endorsements to people that you legitimately trust,
yeah,
maybe that's a way of doing it. Anyway, it's just an idea. I'm kind of like floating again,
yeah.
and
And
I'd
we
be
should we
interested
should
on
take,
hearing what people think about it.
yeah,
Sorry.
yeah. We should take feedback. Just read some comments as well. Like, thanks about your stage proposal. That's very kind. My spoken English is quite rusty and French, but it's always pleasure to see so much kindness in their friends. So when it doesn't matter the language, right? I mean, as long as you're with familiar with LTD, so just grab a beer and most welcome, right? I mean, maybe not this time, but next time, most welcome to join. Tell us what you do and things of that nature, how you use some of the LTDs in your business. We most welcome that kind of conversation, right? So yeah, I mean, let me know. And Matt has a comment here. Hey Nilesh, did you do VBout? So yeah, Matt, we did VBout. I had Richard Falla from VBout, who's the founder. He did a question session. I mean, it wasn't like an in-depth session around the actual features and an overview of that sort. I will post the link, Matt, to you. But people did ask questions. I know there is a lot of concerns about the terms and conditions and how it's going to affect. And of course, I mean, we are also concerned about that. But he did answer some of those questions, and let's hope that they address this while it's on AppSumo. They can go back to the legal team. It seems like a pretty big team, 2025 users. I mean, so in on the sorry 2025 people on their team. So I'm sure they can review those legal terms. I mean, we also want to make sure that users' concerns are addressed. And Richard has been active in the community. Having said that, there was some also a lot of animosity towards those terms and conditions and videos posted. So I mean, some videos had abusive words and things. So we can't do that. We can't post those kind of things. I mean, hopefully, keep the conversation mature, and I hope keep the discussion civilized. Right? Hey, so Matt, yeah, I will post. You're most welcome, and yeah, and yeah, we. I would hope that Richard can do one more session with us and get to. I mean, there is a tremendous interest with VBOUT. Of course, the terms and conditions are putting people a little bit off. So hopefully they address that, right? I mean, if you have a product and if terms and conditions is a concern for users, so maybe address it while you are still uh, in the campaign. I think. What do you think, Win?
Oh, 100%. Just I don't know anything about VBout. The only thing I know about it is by watching the short overview that Heather did in our group.
Yes.
That's about all I'm aware of. I mean, it looks like a fine tool.
Yes.
What I'm kind of surprised about, like some people are comparing it with InCharge, but the general gist is I don't get quite the same excitement about it, and there seems to be, once again I don't understand what the angst is about. But hey, people don't like it, they don't like it, just don't buy it, or if you do like it, maybe people are hoping for it to be something that it isn't. I'm not really sure what the issue is. What's the general gist of why people are upset?
There's
What
a,
is it
there's
that
a
you're
lot of
picking up?
good comments. So there's a lot of users who are pro, and of course, the users. I'm not sure. I haven't seen that many comments about the feature sets. Although I would like to see that discussion more around how's your page builder, right? Like, or how is the automation feature, how's the email marketing features, and what are the APIs, right? Like webhooks and stuff like that. So what can you build on top, right? So I mean, we'd
Right,
like to
right,
see
right.
more that kind of discussion. I think Jenny Jones has posted some of that, and he's created some videos there. Like we have like a 400, 500 comments thread on there. So if you might want
Yeah,
to
yeah, yeah,
might want to
yeah.
check that out. But I mean, overall, more consistency when it comes on
Was
commission.
that the post that that guy Rob James put up? Man, I just thought that was so funny.
Oh yeah,
His
yeah,
his post. And did you
yes,
see what I put on it? And I said, all we need to secure your account is just give us all the passwords, and your
yeah,
account will be good.
yeah, yeah, yeah. He's a funny guy. I've had a
He's
chat
funny.
with him, but I messaged him like, "Hey, Rob, looks like a fake profile," but yeah, no, I know he's genuine, and
Oh
he
yeah.
has a lot of wittiness and sarcasm in his posts. So I always
Mm,
love that kind of post.
right.
Hopefully people
Um,
get that too, right? So yeah,
so the VBAD looks pretty promising if you to me. On the surface of it, once again, I haven't checked it out. I only saw Heather's very brief overview of it.
yes,
Here's my take on tools like VBout and InCharge and Mooseend. Actually, I would say VBout is kind of closer to Mooseend than or Automizy than it is to InCharge. I just think it's a huge mistake. These email marketing slash marketing automation tools trying to do landing pages. I know it's tempting to try and be a general Swiss Army knife that
yes,
has multiple uses and can attract multiple different audiences. However, I think the problem is that your development team is only so big, your expertise and capabilities are only so much, and when you're trying to do everything well, you generally don't do anything well. And a good case in point of this is the old tool called Infusionsoft, who's now rebranded as Keep. Um, so they were one of the first mid-market uh, marketing automation tools for email, and they were the tool that everybody was using when back in 2009, 2010, when I was really hitting it with um, webinars with my co-founder. We were doing really well, and we swapped over to Infusionsoft. And one of the things that became apparent was the tool was trying to do 100 things, and some of the things they were doing really really well, but the rest were so abominable, so horrible to use, and everyone used to call it Confusionsoft because no one really quite understood how to use this tool. And then Active Campaign came along and stole all of Infusionsoft's lunch, and Active Campaign kind of grew in that vacuum because Infusionsoft was charging $1,500 US to set up, and then I think something like $300 a month just to get started. And then you ended up paying more on top of that if you went past a few emails a month. It was just really ridiculous. And then so you've had all these other tools come along like Drip and now InCharge and all these other tools that are jumping on AppSumo and Stack Social and PitchGround and doing a really really good job. Like I said, I've said this to you a number of times that I think that InCharge has done an amazing job. I think they
yes.
copied Autopilot HQ. I really liked some of the things that I saw with VBelt that Heather was covering, but I was really curious to see what their marketing automation was like. I'm a marketing automation systems kind of connection kind of guy. I didn't see a lot of talk around that. I'm not sure if you did. Anyway, that's just kind of my general kind of like sentiments on it.
Yeah, so Heather has actually given a like to our video, so she's watching it. Hi, Heather.
Hi,
Uh,
Heather.
if you want to come and join us on the live, you're
Yeah.
most welcome. And so I have a comment from Matt here. Yes, I agree. I prefer apps that do one thing and do it really well, not the jack of all trades, master of none. So, Matt, we actually talked. I asked that question specifically to Richard. That hey, how does Rebound actually compete and compare to some of the best-in-class products, right? Like so like for example, if you want to be good at landing pages, and if there is a product just focused on landing pages, then they have a lot more focus there. People prefer that, right? So how does Webar compare? What are some of the features? And he did mention that, hey, look out at all my features and stuff like that. So I think we need to explore that a little bit more
Yeah,
while it's on
I mean,
AppSumo.
I'll be amazed. Like, if it does a good job of all of the things that they're doing, holy cow! Everybody jump in there and buy a license. Like
Yeah.
that's that kind of reaction. Um,
Yes. Yes. And we have a comment here. Hey Sam, so hello Nilesh. Hey Sam, how's it going? I hope you are having fun. Are you back in Toronto yet, or still cruising and roaming around the world? Um, yeah, yeah. We okay. So I think we need to do a session around what to look for when trading deals or buying deals and things of that nature. And the whole phrase issue is really, really upsetting for sure. I mean, on a lot of fronts. So we need to, from now on, at least in the community, and we need to track what are users doing, how many codes they have, and I mean, for sure, users need to ask for details around a screenshot of the AppSumo invoice or something of that nature, and then make sure always do the transaction through PayPal, not as friends. Pay the fee
right, right.
because those are important things, especially
Must do it
now.
through PayPal. Must. 100%. Don't
Yes.
never do transfer wires or any of those other
Yeah.
direct transfer things. You got to have it going through some kind of layer that gives you security. If you don't if you don't know that person, like personally, like you don't know them, make sure 100% make sure it goes through PayPal. There's no equivocation on this. Has to go through PayPal. Has to go through the business layer, not like you say, not through personal. 90 days security.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, do your due diligence and make sure that you are getting an authentic. Because apparently, it happened the other day after this whole phrase issue. One of the community members, I think Anas, I don't remember how his name is pronounced, but he has a big thread. He posted about GeoChat and a demo video of how codes can be generated for GeoChat, and that's like a security lapse, right? I mean, so he did contact to the developers as well as I think to AppSumo to make sure that it doesn't happen. But I'm not sure. People need to be absolutely aware of this issue and take those precautions when trading, buying apps on that sort, right?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's something that we need to give a lot more thought to as we grow this community. And, there's a lot more writing on it. I think one of the things that drives this group is that people feel comfortable trading with each other, and if that trust is getting eroded, then we're going to have issues. So definitely something for us to strategize around.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and there is a lot of threats. I mean, we have removed everybody from a security perspective till every single user is satisfied and then has some sort of a resolution, getting a phrase account, getting a refund of that sorts, because somewhere these guys are connected and somebody has gotten codes for really cheap, sold it in exorbitant price, and of course, I mean, that how did these codes come from? Where did these come from, right? How you getting suddenly like you didn't check that when you're buying like 100 accounts from somebody that you know where is your AppSumo purchase invoices and stuff like that? Come on, I mean,
Yeah.
uh, they knew exactly what was going on, right? And that's the reason,
Yeah.
that's the reason nobody wants to share these internal conversations and things of that nature and screenshots
Yeah.
of, the actual invoices and things of that nature, because they knew exactly what they were buying and selling, every single one of them.
Sure.
So, you know,
They're complicit in it, is it what you're saying?
100%. I have no doubts about it, right? And it's not cool. So, yeah, I mean, we are going to look into other stuff as well. I'm not going to disclose that, but yeah, I mean, we're already looking into it.
Okay, so question: how would you know uh, somebody's using? Okay, so let's say I want to start up a fake Facebook account. I can go onto that site. I forget what it's called, but you can get like AI generated faces. You can generate a fake name.
Yeah.
So, given all of that, that we've got that everyone's got free access to this today, how do you satisfy yourself that you're dealing with a real person and not a fake front?
Yeah. So I'm thinking there's two ways we can do it. Like we can build an absolutely secure place where every single
Hmm.
person is verified. And I'm sure not many people would be, not everybody would agree to that. Many people would also agree to that. And so they would have a more secure place to deal with. And we can offer certain guarantees around that, right? Like where if the trade goes through, and if something happens, then yes, as part of their service, they have a full money back guarantee. And that's something which we can look into, where there will be additional cost involved, right? That's something which can be done. Or the second option is like, we look at the authenticity of the profile. I mean, and of course, people can continue doing the trading, but if you have more than like 5 codes or 10 codes, I mean, you have to present the proof every single time and get screenshots and all the details from now on to make sure. Doesn't matter who it is from. It's from you, me, uh, you know, anybody in the community, right? We have to be transparent, I think.
Right.
What's your take on it?
Yeah. No, no, you're right. You're right. It shouldn't be that hard to prove someone's real, right? And like, generally speaking, like most of the people that use our platform, they're in business, right? They're
Yes.
either contractors, consultants, agency owners, they got their own business. So they usually have three or four things. They have an email address, they have a Facebook account, they have a LinkedIn account. Like if the person doesn't look real, come on, if they've got a cartoon for a thing, do you really want to trust that person if they're using a cartoon face? If they if they're not on LinkedIn, they're probably not in business. I mean, like, why would you be trying to obfuscate all of that? It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I'm of that viewpoint as well. However, people have legitimate concerns. I mean, I was talking to somebody in the group, and I said, well, your profile doesn't look. I said, and then the user said, hey, this is me. This is my, Instagram. This is, I just get too many messages. That's why I don't want to be showing my face. And that's a legitimate concern, right? For sure. I
Yeah,
mean, we need to think about those things too. So we don't want them to be completely not have like access to our platform. But I mean, we probably need to spend more time doing some of that due diligence on our end and make sure that they are who they say they are. And doesn't matter the profile picture, or there's not much profile, but if we can somehow verify them privately, that should be okay too.
right, 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 right. I got you. So I do have some examples of that. Like, I have played in from time to time play this game called Slither.
Yeah.
It's a incredibly addictive worm game where you kill other worms and you grow bigger by eating them. Anyway, one of the guys I ran into, really good guy. Um, for some reason we've become very good friends. I still don't know who he is to this day, and uh, some people, I guess, maybe they own really big businesses, or maybe they're in the public face, and they don't want to be known. I do understand that.
Yeah, yeah. So I mean, it will have to be addressed on a case by case basis. I mean, rules are rules. I mean, we have certain rules we have to follow. Absolutely have to check if somebody user has like 200, 300 codes. Then when somebody's buying
Oh
from them,
God!
and
And
there are,
nobody thought to
yeah,
check.
yeah, there are, right. I mean, there's like hundreds of thousands of dollars of trade in the community, which
Yeah.
is fine, but we also want to make sure that it is legitimate, and it is meant to actually be for people to trade a few codes here and there and of that sort. I mean, it is not something where you are just sort of churning codes. I mean, there's a lot of people, like, who contribute into the conversation. They want to sell some of the tools they're not using. That's great, right?
Hmm.
But then there are some who are just selling a lot of codes and stuff like that, right? So, and it is
Would it, I mean,
always
here's an idea. Would it help if we had a register like, okay, if you're selling one or two codes here and there, shelfware that you're not using, that's one thing. But if you're a trader, right, and you have like a bundle of codes, do we say to those people, okay, we need a separate register for you? We're not going to do anything to you, but we need to know who you are. Maybe we need to make those people run through a few more checks and balances because we need to know who those people are. Especially if they're having such a big impact in our group,
yes, absolutely,
right? So anyone can trade one or two licenses here or there, but if you, like you say,
yeah,
you're selling 10 codes here and 10 codes there and 10 codes here, we're talking about thousands of dollars
absolutely,
within 2 or 3 days. We really need to get a better handle on who those people are, and get an understanding of, where they're getting these codes from, whether they're legit, can we trust them, and if we can't, we just boot them out. Sorry, get out of here.
100%.
Sorry, get out of there. Scram.
Yeah, yeah, and yeah, I mean, as we need I need to put up a contact form as well for people who still have grievances and stuff like that around the phrase issue,
Yeah.
because there is a lot of these codes which have been sold in 2020, and people are just finding out, so their timeline for PayPal dispute is over, especially with this Andrew O'Hara guy. But these codes have trickled down from him to somebody else. So somebody is in line here who's responsible for that, right? So I mean, yeah, we will track all that down, and make sure that everybody's grievances are addressed, right?
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Um, yeah, it's a bigger conversation, and I think there's a real opportunity there to create some real value for the community in terms of trust and being able to know that they're engaging in something that's legit.
100%.
Mm.
100%. So, let's talk about a few deals. Have you looked at any other deals? Like, I think SideJet is leaving AppSumo. Have you had a chance to look at it?
It's supposed to be like a dumbed down version of swipe pages. That's about all I've
No,
kind of
SideJet
gotten about
is
it.
like, no, SideJet. I think it seems pretty powerful, actually. It
Oh,
seems,
really?
yeah, it seems pretty powerful. It has agency features. Um,
So it's a
I
landing
mean,
page builder, right?
yeah, I'll have to test it. I was going to do that today. I was also thinking that in August we do a live every single day. So we do certain, like, do a live, and if somebody else is interested, we can do a show, and we do some live streams and do it every single day. That's what
I,
I
t-
was
I, tell,
thinking.
I tell you a product. Okay. Sorry. Bit distracting, kind of like talking about different products after you just asked me about LiveJet. I haven't checked out LiveJet. I saw the basic sentiment on
Side
it. The
jet,
people that
side jet.
uh, side jet.
Yeah.
The people that I heard talking about it were saying that it was like not as good as swiped pages. That's about as good as I got. And apparently it does like swipe pages but simpler. That was the general gist of it. However, I do want to talk about content creating tools, if you don't mind me kind of like
Please,
diverging into that a little bit.
please do.
So,
Yeah.
um, so okay. So I know that who's that guy that does reviews and puts them in our group? Uh, Casey Wall, Casey Wall.
Yeah.
I know he was really pumping closes copy.
Yes.
I'm always very skeptical and hesitant when I see people pushing stuff. I always assume that they've got some kind of angle, and so it took me a while to kind of come on board with the whole closes copy thing. I know you bought it and then refunded it within probably a week. I had a
It
look
was
at it, and
last
this is a
year.
few
To be
last
fair,
year.
that was tool had
Yeah,
nothing, right? And
right.
yeah, yeah,
So I tried it, and
yeah.
I logged in and I went, well, this is just like Google Docs, except they're charging me $100 for this thing. Um, okay. So fast forward like 6 to 8, maybe 9 months since the time that you and I tried it. Um, and given everything that's happened with Headlime, people were really raving about Headlime and how great that was. And now it's been bought by, was it Copy.ai or Conversion.ai? One of those guys,
Yes.
somebody with a lot of money. At the time, Close's Copy didn't have GPT-3. It does now. One of the really powerful things about Close's Copy, okay, this is once again, I've got nothing to make out of this. You won't find any affiliate link from me on this about this. Um, so the big thing about Close's Copy, whether it's to write email copy, landing page copy, blog posts, whatever, like very much like Headline, you can kind of choose the use case that you're trying to generate content for. And then you can use the GPT-3 to help you to kind of like get past that white, the blank page blues, as they call it. So I recommended it to my really good friend. He's one of the best copywriters. Did a lot of work with Jay Abraham. Ghost wrote a book for him. Wrote copy for Clayton Makepeace. Um, had copy that was looked over by Gary Bensafinger and Eugene Schwartz. Like we're talking about a real gun, like a guy that's got 30 years plus as a professional copywriter at the top of his game, and a very close friend. I recommended he check out Closer's Copy, and his words to me were literally, "I am blown away. This tool is amazing. No, it can't write copy as good as the world's best copywriters, but man, like within minutes, and he goes literally within 1 or 2 minutes, you can turn out copy that's 80% there and gets the job done. Dude, go out and get Closer's Copy, man. Like if a dude like that, if a guy like that is raving about a tool like that, I'm telling you, each one of us needs that, or at least access to it, to someone's account who's got it.
Yeah, the
Really powerful
developer is
tool.
in the community. I mean, why don't you reach out to him and then we can do a promotion for it, right?
Oh, absolutely. And I suggested this to him a few months ago. He was saying, "Oh, I'll wait till we get GPT-3 in," because I said to him, "Let's do a call, an interview, and discuss your product and just show people the power of it because I think this would be great." So I think that's a really great idea, and I think he's open to it. So let's definitely get him on with that call.
Yeah, yeah, you certainly changed my. I mean, I had a different perspective about Closer's Copy for sure. It's not something which I had um, very high hopes from, but things change.
No,
Things changed for the
yeah,
better. Good for the developer, right? So, I mean, we can absolutely cover that. and see how things have changed, right? Because I mean, when I bought it, it was really cheap too. I think the price has gone up like 4 times. So
Oh,
yeah,
how much is it now?
I think 270 or something like that, or I don't know.
So, okay, that's good news because I think, I mean, there's an opportunity still for us to do something with what the founder. Um, and I know for a fact that you're able to get it for cheaper than that. So, um, it'd be good for us to have a chat with him and just show people, like we did with Riders In. That's another tool that. Here's the thing that people got to know about um, the tools that you and I back, Neilish, is that we don't just talk about tools here that you know we're trying to pump on you. Like we legitimately will only really kind of get guys on that we really, well, at least at the very least, when we say go get this tool, we actually mean it. Because we hand on heart believe that tool can work for you. Like we had Writers In on the other day, and I told you, man, like that tool is actually a really good keyword research tool. Um, I don't think
I'm
that
all for
they're,
that approach. I mean, we don't want to pump out tools after tools, right? There are certain things which we take the time to review and talk about, and then if it makes sense, then yes, right? So 1,800 products on AppSumo, we can't just pump out reviews and every day, right? Without a use case of or like a real life experience on how that tool performs, right? I mean, for sure, it's if you're doing just a comparison, it is okay, but that's not a
yeah,
real life review, right? I mean, you're just talking about features and comparing things. That's a different story. But it's
yeah.
not like a real use case where you're using it and showing examples, right? I mean, that's what we want to do. So
Mm, yeah. Anyway, so closes copy worth checking out. If you've looked at it like maybe 9 months ago, 8 months ago, definitely go and have another look now. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised, and at the very least, check out some of their. I haven't checked out their training videos, but I imagine that there'll be some. You need to kind of like go through that because if a tool like that, like let's use case, like here's a use case. Let's say, for instance, you're wondering what to write about. Well, go into closes copy, tell it what you're doing. Whether it's for Facebook ads or email or something, and then generate a few ideas, and then go test those ideas. Like how do you test those ideas? Well, I don't know. Throw $20 at it on Google Ads or Facebook ads and see which one gives you the most clicks. There's your first signal there, right? A very, very low key test. And we're talking about this with Daniel from Writers In the other day, right? How do you know what to write about? Well, you can use the tool to get the general gist of what keywords are worth writing for, which ones you have a hope to rank for, and then you can do a really quick campaign, let's say on Google Ads, to figure out what the actual search volume is, and then you can use that as your guide to figure out how to prioritize what content you're now going to create in order to drive new business. So that's one use case right there, right? And then
yes,
okay, so now you know what you're going to write about. Go into closes copy, go into Writers In. Um, man, right there, I think is a winning combination.
yes, of course. I mean, and we can we have to do a session on these AI copy generators, closer copy, and how they compare and how they. But it is a time consuming process, right? If you're going to do it, probably needs to be a series kind of thing. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think we have a comment from Wilson, so he's answering to Matt. It was a short one, not much new info. I think you're referring to Vbout. Yes, Wilson, we talked about it earlier. Um, Richard had like about 30 minutes, and, so he was just doing more of like answering questions, and it wasn't really like a review per se.
So me and Matt have had some dealings recently, and Matt, like I reckon that you should try and look around for in charge licenses. Honestly, if you can find like a 5 stack, get that. That'll be my hand on heart recommendation. I mean, I don't know VBout. I have to check out VBout properly. I might be really surprised and go, "Holy heck, go and check out VBout." But I got to do my own due diligence. But I know about InCharge, and convinced Neelish to go get 5 stacks, so he's got he's got one.
Yeah, I got it. I'm set for life. I don't need
Yeah,
any
man.
other automation and marketing tools. So I'm just kidding. But anyway, it's good. It's good, right? It's good. I mean, for sure. Um,
Until somebody offers you a lot of money, then you'll sell it.
yeah, like $1 million kind of thing, right? Yeah.
So my thing about those tools, right? Like we honestly, we're going to see a lot more of those tools coming and going because people are always going to think, well, I can do this better, I can make this cheaper or whatever. My big thing about these tools is that a they've got to be awesome, but b they've got to be architected in such a way that you can interconnect them with other tools easily, right? And you got to think about the landscape out there. So as analytics, right? So we were going to do something with Honey Stack. Is that analytics thing, Neelish? But we never kind of got around to doing that.
Yeah, hockey
And you
stack.
asked me, Hockey Stack, Hockey Stack, sorry. You asked me what I thought of it, and I thought, well, honestly, you know me, I do so much with tracking and analytics and stuff, so I deal with Google Analytics, Google Tag Manager, Google Tag Manager 4. I'm getting into Knime at the moment, Knime. If you don't know what that is, just say that it's an analytics slash marketing automation workflow thing that costs you so much money that they don't put the price on the website, those kind of tools. And my approach with all of these tools is like, you really got to do your due diligence. Like, if you're going to commit to a tool, there's a cost to committing to a tool, right? Once you're invested in a tool, you can't take your business off it. So my wife's business is on Active Campaign, and I'd really like to put her on In Charge. But it's so much work for me to unhook all of the workflows and all of the emails and upload them all to In Charge that I just can't be bothered. And so, Active Campaign is an awesome tool. Costs whatever it costs, in terms of the volume that you're doing and the features that you get access to. But like, there's a cost to all of this. So unless you're going to be really, really convinced that you're dealing with a tool that you can really support for the next 5 years, then don't do it. Either that or go and get the right tool and just pay the monthly, because then at least you're going to get really good value. Don't just put all your business on a cheap tool that next month you realize it's not going to do what you need it to do. So going back to the whole analytics thing, Hockey Stack looks cool. I can't give it the right review that I need to because I haven't actually used it. But I'm comparing it against Google Analytics 4, which is the new kid on the block. Is it better than that? Probably not, because Google's probably spent, I don't know, probably $30 million on developing that darn thing. How can Hockey Stack be better than Google Analytics 4?
Makes sense.
So what, so what problem is it solving? You know, uh,
So
so
it was more
there's
to
a
do without. I mean, I'm not definitely. I have purchased hockey stack, and I haven't really got to use it because I wanted to check what the fuss is about. And for sure, I've had one of the first conversations with Amir, and great guy.
yeah,
And
seems really nice, yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So
And smart, right? Like I think that from what I can tell, the problem that he was solving was the complexity of universal analytics, how tough it is to actually get anything meaningful out of that.
yeah,
But
and
that's
they,
universal analytics.
yeah,
Sorry, carry
and
on.
and we talked the first time we talked. Actually, we talked about the customer journey. So
Hmm.
at the time, I mean, I actually we recorded the WebEx session for. So at the time, the whole thing was, well, how are you going to develop it as a customer journey kind of tool? Whereby,
Yep.
what I mean by customer journey is like an omni-channel customer journey. And
Hmm.
if they could get to that stage, that would be pretty cool. Cool. I mean, in terms of Google, yes, Google Analytics 4, you you can do very powerful web analytics, right? And but I'm talking about a customer journey, so a tool which can sort of like integrate with possible, contact center platforms and things of that nature.
Right.
So, or with CRMs, so you can track the customer journey, the customer interaction, the touch points you've had in various
Yep.
channels, right? Through chat, through web, through maybe an a smartphone application, or so. If you can evolve that kind of a platform to that stage, then probably
Yep.
it would make a lot more sense from a customer journey perspective. Like, you don't want it to be just the web analytics part, because that's somewhere where a company with infinite resources like Google can really take over, right? And
Yep.
but if you develop a platform which has other channels integrated and gives an opportunity for users to integrate it with things like intercom or anything, right? I mean, then it becomes suddenly becomes a lot more powerful, I think.
Yeah. And so a tool that you'd be comparing that with would be Segment, right? That
Yeah.
tool called Segment.
Yes.
That does exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's why Twilio acquired them, because they are a contact center company, and that was the missing puzzle in their,
Oh yeah.
so Twilio acquired them, right? So
Hmm.
Segment is a Twilio
Yeah, it makes
company,
sense.
isn't it? A Twilio company now, Segment?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Okay. Because Twilio's APIs really allow you to build world class products around,
Yep.
you know overall omni-channel customer service contact center type of platforms, right? In as well.
Right. 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 Right.
uh,
So
so
we're talking the same language. Really, one of the big benefits that any one of these tools can do now, whether it's InCharge or VBout or Swipe Pages, whatever tool that you're using, one
yes.
of the number one considerations that you should be thinking about as a business owner slash marketer slash product developer, whatever it is how can this thing connect to other things in a seamless, low low resistance way. So I believe one of the criticisms that Heather had of VBout was the lack of connectivity, and that Zapier wasn't really an answer. Why not Zapier? Well, Zapier is the wrong solution for a number of reasons. Number one, it's not reliable, right? We've all
That's
had
something which
those
he
little
did
messages
address.
from.
They are going to
Oh
do
yeah,
integration with Pabbly and Integrately as well, and Integromat.
perfect, perfect, perfect. And I think one of the other recommendations that Heather said was to allow webhooks, which one uh, I'm a big believer of. API access and webhooks are huge. So if you've got one of these tools and you want, here's the thing, all right? You've got all of these tools. You've got a landing page builder, you've got a CRM, you've got a marketing automation platform, and I don't know, 15 other tools, whatever it is that drives your business. The problem is that the data gets stuck in each one of those tools. How do you get the data from one tool to the next? Without having to hire a developer that's going to charge you an arm and a leg to do that. How do you do that? That's the question. And if you've got good answers for that, then suddenly your tool is way more valuable. And I really like that suggestion from I think it was Heather to VBout, which is, well, just make webhooks available. I think that's a great suggestion.
Yes. So we have a comment here from Felipe Arbelas. That's what would give value to your recommendations. If you truly feature stuff that's high quality, trusted founder has a good roadmap, people will get real attention because you'll build trust that you're not just getting referrals or anything. Yeah, yeah. So, Philip, I think you're talking about us here. Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, we absolutely want to make sure we if you truly feature stuff that's high quality, trusted founder has a good roadmap. Yeah, we do want to focus on quality apps. we have a little bit of a higher standards, and we want to make sure the success of the product. So we want to work with some of these companies, the founders, to you know get them into the subscription base, and get them into mid-market space where it will ensure their sustainability, give them an MRR, and gives a win-win, and it also gives us an opportunity to build a recurring type of income because of subscription base. But yes, we are after absolute quality stuff.
Yeah, and I think it's going to become apparent. I mean, number one, both Neelish and I are not scared to say what we think, right? If we think something's crap, we'll just say it. If we think something's awesome, we'll tell you. You know, I don't want to kind of like point out any uh, other groups that kind of like will pump a product just to make a whole bunch of money, but that happens. At the end of the day, we've got a much longer term vision for what we're doing here. The vision is twofold to benefit two groups, two main groups. The first group is the community people that you see here. You know, obviously you want to get access to really high quality tools with good terms. All right, so you're getting a good deal. Oh, honestly, that's the whole idea behind AppSumo. But you know, like there's both great tools and there's not so great tools that come through there, and knowing which ones are which is sometimes a little bit hard to discern. Okay, so there's that consideration. The second consideration for us, and we feel like there is a real call there for this, is that a number of those businesses that go through AppSumo and PitchGround and SaaS Mantra and all of those ones, um, is that they don't get past the lifetime deal thing, right? They're not really making a proper business out of this. So then they die, and then the people that invested in that, they don't really get anything. So we're not so much interested in the short term. We're interested in the long term. What's the long term look like? Well, the long term looks like this: really good quality founders with a really good heart who are making amazing products that serve a real need that's currently unmet. Right. So creating new value is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And then they do the lifetime deals in order to get a little bit of money. You know, you think that these guys are going on there to make income. It's not really. They're going on there to get exposure. That's really the idea behind this. And they do get some compensation for doing that. Don't get me wrong. Um, but it's really about exposure and advocacy and getting a user base who goes on G2 Crowd and Capterra and leaves really glowing reviews, because that's what helps them to really get that notice. So what we want to do is to help those same businesses that are doing an awesome job. We're not interested in those hucksters that are creating, the JVZoo type products that aren't really that great, take their people's money and don't do a very good job. We're interested in the good guys, and we want to help them to get past the lifetime deal phase, right? So if you invested in that, great. But now we want to help them get into MRR where they're making real money, and now they're starting to challenge the incumbents. We feel like we have something valuable to offer, not only as me and Neelish and Diogo as the founders of this, but longer term, where we're literally creating a tribe. You know, as a group, we as a collective are recognizing awesome products, supporting them, and then really assisting them to get to that level, right? And our reward is that we got in early and we got those licenses, you know. So anyway, hopefully that answers your question.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So, in terms of, we have a few more comments here, especially the GPTJ open source available now for AI. So, yeah, I read about GPTJ. I'm not sure of any tools out there based on that, but I'm sure they're coming. I mean, technology is evolving really fast, right? I'm sure you know, there is more models coming around with much larger
There is,
data sets.
and
And
Google and Microsoft are coming out, and obviously Amazon. These are all the big cloud providers with their own um, AI models that they're going to be shortly opening up soon for rent. So the GPT-3 is only the beginning. They'll all start competing soon. I think Malcolm. I heard a post from Malcolm the other day talking about this from Niches, talking about how he's anticipating Google opening up their machine learning model soon for this kind of stuff.
yes, yes, yeah. Talking of Tiago is like has been away because he was in the hospital and suffering with COVID and stuff like that. So hopefully we can bring him on one of these days as well. But let me move to the next question. Next comment says, I think Hockey Stack challenges more tools like Hotjar. That's from Philippe. Um, yeah, so,
And mixed panel as well. Uh, Hotjar is pretty well covered, but I think mixed panel is, in my opinion, I think they were kind of trying to jump into that mixed panel space.
yeah, yeah, and there are quite a few other tools like that. It would be interesting to see, how Hockey Stack evolves, right? For sure, because for analytics, there is tons of other tools out there for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and the big question is like, he, here's my question for tools like Hockey Stack and others that really wanting to compete in that enterprise space, at least on the mid market space. Um, how do you how do you really compete with the mixed panels and the Google Analytics 4 and the segments and these ilk of products? You know, what what will it take to make enterprise trust your product? Right, that's the question. I mean, this, Neelish. I mean, you know what it takes. You run a Cisco services agency, as well as I do, that a lot of those businesses won't jump on certain products because they don't trust that they're going to be around in like 10 years and that they can scale it out and that it's going to have the support and all of
Absolutely
these
not.
questions that an enterprise asks.
Absolutely not. They would spend like thousands of dollars just evaluating the product actually before making a decision
It's a big
whether
risk. It's a
yes,
big risk for them to adopt it.
for sure. Yeah, and we do all that, right? But in terms of mid-market enterprise space, it's an absolutely. I mean, it shows, right? Like with AppSumo as well. If you look at it, there are tools which keep on coming back because it's not easy to sell into that space with MRR, right? I mean, you have tools which come back after 2 3 years just because, yeah, they get the ready-made exposure on AppSumo because such a large platform, but also show somewhere that, yeah, there is a challenge in terms of MRR, generating MRR and gaining. This is like a lot of competition, right? Like when it comes to bigger customers, they want the best of the breed, like best of the best. So
Mm.
okay, I think we are just 2 minutes past 9 p.m. AST. I think we're on for an hour. Um, I think we should call it off and enjoy the
Call it
rest
an
of the,
hour.
yeah, and then relax with the rest of the beer and enjoy the rest of the weekend, right? So I think there's a lot going on. This week was so busy, but yeah, I want to do a live every day, especially in August. So hopefully we get to that and create a lot of meaningful video streams, get more people engaged, get more founders, do adoption sessions. I want to do a whole series on streaming video, especially on Ecamm, my setup, how video link restream, be live, a switchboard. How do they actually, like, one stream, restream, how do they compare, right? So that would be an interesting one. I think we should
And just for
definitely.
everyone who doesn't know, I mean, Neelish has done a ton of due diligence on figuring out how to set up this system that you see here now with Ecamm and all of that. Neelish, do you want to kind of like share how much you've actually spent kind of playing around with all this stuff? or
Yeah,
not?
yeah. Did quite a bit of evaluate a lot of different, communities, a lot of different, tools. Looked at Restream, looked at AirMeet, BeLive. I've had it since the last time it was on AppSumo. Have VideoLink, and VideoLink is a pretty impressive, powerful platform. Just got to put to use and then find out more about it. Haven't used OneStream, but I plan to use it. There are certain challenges with OneStream, but still okay,
Hmm.
especially around their plans and what they're trying to do. But having said that, yeah, I mean, tons of effort went into building this, and we wanted to, if we want to do something, we want that to be of absolute high quality. I know we are not completely there yet, but we want to have a professional production. So we chose Ecamm coupled with Restream, uh, you know, where what works, right? Like having external consoles running different scenes. A lot of things went into that, right? Before, so that we can bring founders in, talk about it, and talk about their product, and create more engaging type of content. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of thought process. I can talk about it for like 5 hours. What are some of the differences? How to get good quality stream? What to do, what not to do? Turning off notifications, checklist, and all that. And still, things sometimes can go wrong. So yeah, I mean, that will be an interesting talk. I think we can cover that.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
be great. So just so everyone knows, I mean, Neil has just spent literally thousands of dollars on testing all this stuff, probably over $10,000. It kind of shocked me when he told me, but
yeah,
so I consider Neil somewhat of an expert at this stuff now. So,
getting there. Once I have my own Anchorman show, then it would be a different story. But
yeah.
yeah, yeah. I mean, for now, I mean, this is good. Like you can do a professional production with Ecamm Live. I would love to get into a live demo mode and show my share my screen, and do maybe have a second camera, show my how where my camera is, my setup. But we can do that absolutely one of these days.
Mm.
So with that, I think we should call it a night. And I mean, night for me, day for you. So still got to enjoy a win, and
Yeah,
yeah,
thanks. Good
cheers.
talk.
Cheers to
Cheers.
great talk. Yeah, cheers to another session of Brews and LTDs. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I'm sure maybe we'll do another live tomorrow. We do have a live coming up on Monday with Voxo. Joe wanted me to do a live on Voxo, so thanks Joe for connecting me with the Voxo team. We are going to do a live with them, and hopefully it turns out great. I have one question. I'm really keen on. I haven't seen Voxo, so I'm going to do that, and it would be interesting to see how what that tool does and how it compares to some of the other tools. For those who, if you don't know Joe, I mean, Joe is a very creative guy. He runs an agency, and coming from him, if he likes Voxo, I think there is some certain standards he go by. So certainly it deserves a good look.
Awesome.
Yeah, yeah, awesome. I think we have a few more comments. Um, okay, oh, 1 second. 1 second. I feel Wado TV is going to be in the leagues of Vistia and Vimeo. I hope so, Achin Sagar. I mean, really hope that Wado TV gets there. A lot of people have put in money into it. Still, a lot of work needs to be done around UI.
I think they got a lot of work to get there, man. Honestly, they're
Yeah,
nowhere near it right now. I think they offer amazing features and amazing limits, but they're nowhere near it. To be honest, that's just the honest truth. But yeah, I'm betting for them. I hope they get there.
yeah, yeah. So, thanks, Chris. Another great one. Thanks, Chris Scott. I hope you are enjoying your weekend. Um, Enjoy the Olympic. Um, to those who are watching. Lyle, thank you. I,
And to all of those men who are competing as women in the Olympics, hope you win.
thanks, Joe, for the thumbs up. Lyle, okay, and do you have a coupon? Okay, so somebody's saying, okay, yeah, Sam wants a coupon for closer copy. That's the coupon. Okay, that's great.
We'll have to have a chat. We'll have to track down Closer's copy and have organize that conversation with them. I think.
Absolutely,
Hmm.
absolutely. Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Somebody's giving a coupon there.
Okay. All right. Well, yeah, yeah. That's Lyle. Yeah, he. It was his birthday. Happy birthday, Lyle! And then he's giving a coupon to Sam. So that's great. Hopefully, you get some discount. In Okay, well that's it for me. Thanks a lot, everyone, guys. Thanks a lot, guys, for watching it live and all the
Thanks,
comments.
Neelish.
Thanks a lot, Wayne. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care, guys.
You too. Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Bye.